Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic. That's non-classic. That's episode number 1332 and Doubleshot number 1226. I have pretty much talked about the last two trades that collect the original Spider-Gwen ongoing series. First up, it is Gwenom. Yes, this is technically the fourth volume for the series. Fourth? No, this is the fifth. Yeah, this is the fifth volume for the series. Now, this contains issues 24 to 29. So we're getting closer to the end of the series. Jason Toro is the writer with about 3 different artists on this book. Yep. For issues 24, 26, and 2029, that is done by Robbie Rodriguez, who has been pretty much a regular artist in this book. 27's got 2 different artists. You have Veronica Fish and Olivia Moncrief. Mostly put in this one, you have, starting off with the last one, where basically you have Wolverine, yes, the Wolverine of Earth 65, being possessed, where he gets possessed by the Venom symbiote, and of course George Stacy's in the hospital. Oh yeah, and also Kitty Pryde is here. Apparently Kitty Pryde is, like, so, an Asian, so, after dealing with, well, Wolverine Venom for a few issues. Though, for some reason, they draw Kitty look like, of all people, they have her look like Laura McKinley. That's how Robert Reyes draws her for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Kitty Pryde is not his daughter, but why the heck she looks like Wolverine, I had no idea. So, she gets back to the Venom symbiote, and then she pretty much basically just deals with, well, Matt Murdock. And it seems like she's going to kill him, but nope, not really, but probably because what happened with what's going on with her father. So she proceeds to go to the hospital in costume, sees her father, and pretty much attacks the NYPD because they failed to protect her father. So Jean DeWolf, like, looks like she's hurting her, but then she just lets her go because basically she says, like, or she says this won't change anything. It can't help like this. She jumps out the window, and then we see Frank Castle on Yancey Street. Yes, Yancey Street, which is 616. This is the home street of Ben Grimm, the blue-eyed, ever-loving thing. Yep. And of course, these next few issues is simply put Gwen going on a rampage. And also the fact that her band, the Mary Jane's band, is not exactly doing too well. Also, the appearance by, of course, the Rhino. Yes, the Rhino. Yep, he's here. So he gets taken down. And, well, Gwen beats up a bad guy. And then she pretty much just breaks into S.H.I.E.L.D. prison. Now, she runs into Cindy Moon. Yeah, she's been here since, well, the end of Spider-Woman. And after talking to her for a while, then she runs into, of all people, Felicia Hardy, who apparently has been in this prison ever since the end of the first volume of Spider-Gwen, which I'm like, really? Okay. Oh yeah, in case you forgot about Felicia Hardy's universe, Felicia Hardy is black in this universe. Yeah, we look at her like, wait, is that Storm? Nope, it's Felicia Hardy. Yep, she's Felicia Hardy. And then we probably have a female Nick Fury here for reasons. Yep. And we see, well, the current Captain America was a woman in his universe. Yeah. So, then of course Gwen has a confrontation with the Punisher. Yes, the Punisher. who is apparently got his hands on Iron Man tech because he's got a freaking repulsor ray. Where the heck got that? He probably got it from somebody who stole some Iron Man tech. Oh yeah, by the way, Cindy just basically meditating herself, just watching all this. She doesn't do anything. After Gwen beats out the Punisher, we see a brief appearance by Foggy Nelson, who's the DA. Yeah, here's the thing. He's the DA. So, and of course, you have these missing web posters. Everybody's looking for Gwen. But then Gwen basically finds them, and then pretty much we have it where she admits to her band that she is in fact Spider-Woman. Yeah, not only her band, but also Ben and May Parker. Yep. So, I mean, they knew she was innocent of the death of their nephew. Yeah, they knew all along because there was no evidence to corroborate that because they wanted to simply just accuse him. And then we have, well, Matt Murdock being a dick. Just beating up an officer. Which I think this is supposed to be the Earth 65 version of Richard Fisk. Possibly. They don't say. And then we cut to Oscorp. Yes, Oscorp. Or some redheaded woman basically is covered with this goo stuff. No, it's not. It's not Mary Jane. Then we see Matt Murdock at the grave of Jonathan Murdock, aka Battling Jack Murdock, and Margaret Murdock. Interesting. We're actually going to the Earth 65 backstory of Daredevil, where apparently in this universe he was trained by Stick and then he was murdered by the frickin' Hand, which he later took over and became, well, the Kingpin of New York. And he pretty much sent Will Smith to prison. He took over as a Kingpin. So, everybody accepts what she is, and, well, then the officer is killed. And of course, the Punisher shows up, beat up Matt Murdock. Because of course he does, because these two always constantly fight. I mean, here's the interesting question though. Who does Punisher fight more? Spider-Man or Daredevil? The answer? Daredevil. And then we see, and this I think is really weird, we see the Watchers. Yes, the freaking Watchers. Okay. We have Watcher of Earth 65. Apparently woken up by, of all people, the Watcher of Earth 8. Which, from what I can tell, is the home of Spider-Ham. Okay, interesting. What is the purpose of them being here? Well, it's pretty much helps up. It's pretty much them watching this big, humongous battle between Spider-Woman and, of course, Matt Murdock, the Punisher, and, of course, Captain America. Everybody beat up Matt Murdock, and then Gwen basically just knocks everybody out. Nearly kills, well, Matt Murdock, who's basically got her webware tech. And then she meets up with... Then she goes to another universe where she runs into... Gwen Stacy? Yeah, Gwen Stacy. Yeah, it's explained this is, yeah, they made a calculation of what Earth this is that she's on. Excuse me. It's not revealed until the end of the storyline. This is actually confirmed to be Earth 617, where in this universe, Gwen Stacy never died. It's basically kind of like a mirror of Earth 616, and they pretty much explored here. Now, for the last trade here, Volume 6, The Life of Gwen Stacy, the final trade by Jason Latour. Last time, Rob Reyes is in the artwork. Rob Reyes, and along with Chris Visions, who's doing the co-artwork on here. Yep. So, throughout this first part of the story, of course, they mention the whole thing about clones at the start of this, and later on they think that, well, this woman is a clone of hers, but she isn't. So, of course, she explains that she's from a different universe, and she's very emo about it. Except for the Watchers. And apparently we actually have it where Spider-Gwen goes to Four Freedoms Plaza. Yep, Four Freedoms Plaza. Yeah, you may think, is this the Baxter building? Let's see. Here it is. Here's what the building looks like. You might think, is that the Baxter building? I think so. The Baxter building of 616 never had Big Four, and that was more something common with the Four Freedoms Plaza, but okay. Okay, we see some appearances by 617 Peter Parker. And George Stacy is still around here. Yep, he's still alive. Yep. It's been the whole time. And it's confirmed in that issue that she's basically, 619. So, and then we have sort of like an older version of Gwen. And then we cut back to Earth 615 in issue 31. That was basically issue 30. So we see the female Captain America basically sitting with, with George Station, and she goes to visit Matt Murdock, who's still recovering from the beating he took at the hands of Gwen. And then we have the two Spider-Women basically just chatting up with, I believe they're supposed to be Gwen and Stacy, so yeah. Oh yeah, they also mentioned about the kissing in the tree cross-up, which that's interesting. Yep. And then we have the two Gwens meeting with Tony Stark. Yep, that's my friend Edgar. He would love this. So, because he's also the Avengers Mansion, they show it and wow, this place is so different. I mean, look at this place. Doesn't it look like the regular mansion you think of? I mean, doesn't look like the Avengers Mansion I could think of. Well, I get the fact it's a different universe, but wow, it looks so bland looking. Yes. So, this is the Avengers HQ, this bland looking building. Okay? Now, the original Avengers Mansion, the one designed by Jack Kirby, the one that was around up until, I think it was the 80s, I think it was, when a group known as pretty much destroyed the damn building. That building was a classic, iconic landmark. This is a very boring and bland looking building. Stark, wow, he looks so drastic. He looked like, the way he looks here, it's almost like you could mistake this guy for being Howard Stark, based on how he's drawn here. And Hank Pym's here too. I don't know if he's married to the Wasp, but it's nice to see the guy. So then they go to the bridge where Gwen Stacy died, of 616. And of course, Gwen of 617 is being told about this, basically referencing the events of Amazing Spider-Man 21, basically her death. Then she basically leaves the universe by jumping off the bridge. And then we cut to Earth 8 Future. We see Gwen talking with, the Watchers. And then we see a reference to Spider-Verse with the whole time travel stuff. Lots of references to Spider-Verse. And then we have a really interesting turn here where then we see Jameson being visited by Gwen Stacy, where she outs herself to Jameson that she is, in fact, Spider-Woman. Yep. Oh, yeah, and the whole thing about her killing Peter Parker, that's kind of cleared up here. So, they feel that Matt Murdock is the Kingpin. So, and of course, George gets help. And of course, Gwen pays her father a visit. And we see, it looks like that Mary Jane shares a bed with, looks like Gloria Grant. Is it possible Mary Jane's a lesbian? Who knows? They didn't really explore Earth 65 Mary Jane very much. And then we have Matt Murdock on call with several branches and possibly the hand. Then he just tossed his cell phone in the garbage. And then, of course, we actually have the whole Life of Gwen thing. Then she shares kind of her powers with her friends, the Mary Janes. We have Matt being a bunch of ninjas for reasons. Then him basically talking to Gwen for a while. And then, of course, she knocks him out. And, well, takes back the webware tech. And I think he gets hauled off the jail. I think. Oh, yeah, he does. He gets hauled off the jail. And then, of course, well, they chat. And, of course, in the last couple issues are simply put her trial. Yes. Gwen's trial for the apparently killing, of all people, Peter Parker, even though there's no evidence to support it. And then she gets to fights with various people, like meets up in this prison. First meets with Cindy Moon. Yep. Then she runs to frickin' Diamondback at the Serpent Society. That's interesting. And Frank Castle's prison. Okay. Oh yeah, and they have Diamondback being knocked out by frickin' Vulture. Probably because of how nice, basically, she was to him. So, basically, he returned the favor. So, they basically be on their side. And then, of course, she gets like a year in prison for basically, apparently, killing Peter Parker. They don't say what she was guilty of, but she was put in prison. She gets constantly beaten. Then, of course, the Captain America offered her a job. Operate as Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen, whoever couldn't be forcing you. You can go see your father. And she says, tell bigger things. And of course, then we have the final issue, which the cover is a clear homage to the very first appearance of Gwen from Edge of Spider-Verse #2. It's a great looking cover. And it's awesome though they actually, for the final issue of this series, they actually have it where she puts in the they put this cover on, which is great. Yeah, and then we have her talking to the neurologist, whose name is Dr. S.M. Strange. So we have Dr. Strange in Earth 65 who is black and he's a neurologist. Okay, and of course after the chat for a while we see this goo stuff from Gwen on George Stacy's shoes. Then we're going shopping. Of course, they basically spend like the day together, which is quite nice. Quite nice for our last issue of the series. Yep, and of course they all basically just settle down. And they kind of basically where she's basically back in her costume and she calls up Spider-Gwen. And that's it. Yep, that's it. Yes, these two trades themselves, I give them both a 9 out of 10. Final thoughts on the original Spider-Gwen ongoing series. Overall, the series only had 39 issues over the course of about 3 years. 2-3 years. Excuse me. Yeah. They ended the series at the time from what my friend Edgar told me. The reason when they ended at 34, low sales. Reading this, I could kind of see the reason why. Because it just seems the Latour basically almost gave up with the series during the Pendulum story of the series. That a lot of people probably didn't like the idea of Gwen having been the host of the Venom symbiote. They probably didn't like that at all. That's probably the reason why they stopped buying it. And at least that though Latour gave this book a nice an actual conclusion. Though the series was brought back like the following year as part of Spider-Gwen. And they changed the name of the character at the start of the series. Well, actually, toward the end of it. She changed her name from Spider-Gwen, which was she's known at the end of this series, which was Spider-Woman, then Spider-Gwen. Then changed name to Ghost Spider. Yes, Ghost Spider. You're probably thinking, why in the world change her code name for? Marvel Rising is the reason for, because they call Ghost Spider in there, so I guess someone Marvel was like, hey, why don't we change your code name from Spider-Gwen to Ghost Spider? Okay. And don't bring back the original writer to write the character again. Oh no. Let's have Sean McGuire, a brand new writer. Nothing against him as a writer, but, like, okay. Now, Latour himself did, from what I can tell, over the course of these 39 issues, because I include the first 5 by numbering, I think overall he did an absolute really good job with the series. Not really a bad issue the whole run. Overall, the book only was part of 2 crossovers. First of which was Spider-Woman, and then of course was Kiss and True with Miles Morales, which was quite nice. Yep. And this second volume was only 34 issues. It's interesting though for a book that's over almost 70 issues. Yeah, because the way the last book ended in 10 issues, it had I'd say about 70 issues of the series by the time the series ended. I think that the Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider series lasted for 11 issues, which brought about 60. So by the time that the Ghost Spider series ended, which, yeah, it was relaunched from Spider-Man Ghost Spider to Ghost Spider, and that ended after 10 issues, which it probably ended because of the relaunch. Yeah. Though, it's a good series overall, and I do recommend checking it out. Yeah, but aside from the main 7 trades, you would also have to get Spider-Woman and Kissing a Tree to get the whole complete story of this run. Because crossovers. Yep. But yeah, that's it for Particular Review. I'm just going to go ahead and watch Fire Force, the new my next couple comic corners. Next comic corner will be 2 physical trades. Yep. And then for the next 7 videos after that, basically will be a last Supergirl trade. I'll discuss those soon. Okay, this next video. Bye.